Hi guys, it's me, Rusty 78609, Central Texas, USA. Another busy day today. I got to go to the grocery store. Man, I'm telling you, stress I live under, but I manage. But again, Rusty 78609, Central Texas, USA, 9:33 a.m. Central Standard Time. And when the time changes, what will I do? I will adapt and get my normal 9 hours of sleep. Doesn't change a hell of a lot for me. So, having said all that, got a lot of comments about the video I did on buy American made products, stop buying made in China. A lot of good comments, a lot of well thought out comments. You know, maybe we can be the ripple in the ocean. Maybe we can start the waves going back. There was one good comment, you can check it out on that video page. Don't buy made in China or whatever the name of it was. There was a comment, and the guy left a link on sites you can go to and find out where you can buy a variety of American-made products. And what you're going to find is there aren't many. Oh, it's depressing, I'm telling you. Man, no TVs, no cell phones, no microwave ovens. As far as clothing, I'm not sure. Maybe there are some. If you buy it at Walmart, your chances of getting something from the USA are probably 1 in 10, if that. Anywhere else, I don't know. I also remember in 1978, I believe 78 to 80, in that range, I was working at a newspaper in Victoria, Texas, USA, and they opened the first Walmart store in Victoria, and Sam Walton came, did a little interview with him, and fairly big store at that time. He flew into our little regional airport in a Learjet. And at that time, they had American flags all over the outside of the building and the inside. And everything in the store was American made. That was their claim to fame. Buy America. Everything was American made. And so you can see that in about 30 years or a little more, how it's gone from totally American made to totally not American made. So if we examine that time frame in there, say from 1980 to 2010, look at who was president and who was in the Congress at that time, and you can see clearly who sold the United States of America out. Okay? And it wasn't all just politicians. It was a lot to do with multinational corporations which owe their allegiance to no individual country. And they were looking for cheap labor. They started in Mexico first from the USA because it was convenient. Then they found out they get cheaper labor in China and Asian countries and Thailand and Vietnam. And away they went all over the world, the Philippines included. And America be damned, or the USA be damned. And so what we've got to do, in my opinion, is worth just what you're going to pay for it, absolutely nothing. I do not proclaim to be an expert in foreign affairs. Do I proclaim to be an expert in economics? No. But what I'm seeing is reality, and what I'm talking about are facts. The facts are we do not have manufacturing in the United States of America. Even though wages around the world have come up some, the wages in the U.S. have dropped dramatically. In fact, I won't get into that. But what my point in this video is to say that since politicians, our elected officials, are apparently ineffective at dealing with this problem, or choose to be ineffective, which doesn't matter whether they choose or they're bought, whatever. And if, assuming that, assumption is the mother of all mistakes, I know that, but assuming that multinational corporations are the culprit, because they buy the politicians, they buy the lobbyists that buy the politicians, and on it goes. You look at the healthcare industry, and that's a USA corporation basically, and it's just as corrupt as anything else. So having said all that, my point in this video is going to be this. I'm finally going to get to it. We, as the people, have to take the country back if it's ever going to be taken back. Now, we can do it through a quiet revolution by buying American-made only and other things that will force corporations to pay attention to what's happening in our own country. And you do that by hitting them right in the pocketbook. That's either by not buying the products totally, or not buying foreign-made products totally, basically China. And what that does is, I pointed out yesterday briefly, is that reduces the shareholder return. Now, whenever that starts happening in any corporation, whenever their revenues start to decline for whatever, well, they know what the reasons are, believe me. They got all the information now. And if those reasons start pointing to the fact that the Americans have started this silent revolution of buying American-made products only, what you're going to find is these corporations will respond to that. They only will respond to monetary issues. They don't give a damn about morality. They don't give a damn about your health. All that is past them. They're not focused on those things, not at all. But in order to turn their ship around a little bit, if we stop buying, that's one, you just buy less. Just stop spending your goddamn money on foolish crap, and guess what'll happen? Corporations will try to figure out a way to get it out of you. They want your money bad. So, don't buy made in China. Don't buy foreign-made products. Don't buy food products that are poisonous to your health. Don't buy Coca-Cola that has 35 grams of sugar in it or whatever that kills you. Cut all that crap out. Go to Google and do Google searches and find out, what's good for you, and kind of make a list of the things you really need and the crap you don't need. And I know this video is not going to affect more than, well, let's see, I think I had 150 views or whatever it was. Well, if 150 people, watch it and talk to somebody else, the multiplier of that's about 400 or 500 total impact, maybe a little more, you never know. But it's not going to have much impact if nobody takes action, okay? If nobody takes action, then nothing. That's the same way with every revolution in the world. You think about the French Revolution, where they just virtually butchered the elites by the thousands. They like to wore out a guillotine, chopping off aristocrats' heads. All right, same thing happened in China many years ago. It can happen anywhere, anytime. The people get enough, and they come out in what's called a revolution. That's changing gears. But we don't have to be. It wouldn't do any good for you to be packing a weapon today, because if you tried to start a revolution today using weapons, you wouldn't last 5 seconds. Your revolution would be over before you got out the front door. But a silent revolution, basically, stop buying crap. Don't buy Christmas merchandise made in China. None. No Christmas lights, none. They're all made in China, all of them. All the Christmas decorations, maybe a few that you pay premiums for, made in the USA. Most of it's made in China. To hell with that. This Christmas, boycott the bastards. And only buy American-made products if you can. And if you can't, what I'm going to do is, if I can't find an American product and I need something, then I'm going to take a damn hard look at going without it. I guarantee you that. Said that yesterday. But again, let's keep the ball rolling. I love the comments. I love the response, because, there's a guy named Noam Chomsky. He's an MIT linguistics professor. He's an old radical type from back in the 60s. He's a tenured professor at MIT. He's been there about 55 years. And brilliant individual. You can watch some of his interviews and conversations on YouTube. It's Noam, Noam, Noam Chomsky. You may agree or not agree with what he says. I don't agree with everything he says, but I do recognize that he is a well-traveled, well-read, brilliant man, probably, as I would say, worldwide, probably one of the most brilliant, maybe the most brilliant man in the world, in my own opinion. Now, thousands of people may disagree with that. But watch some of his stuff. It's mind expanding. And but again, a revolution can occur without firing a shot. Period. Okay? Period. You know, you look at what the people in India did against the most powerful empire on earth, the British Empire. They actually won their battle through what was called peaceful resistance, led by a guy named Mahatma Gandhi. And Gandhi was educated in England, believe it or not. And so he knew kind of what was going on in their mind, and that helped a lot. But anyway, let's keep the ball rolling. You know, I got to go to the grocery store now, and I'm going to start reading labels a lot more carefully and checking, you know, where it's made. You know, if it's made in Mexico, it'll say HECO, HECO in Mexico. Anyway, it's a nice day today. This morning it was like 65 degrees here in Central Texas, USA, which it just doesn't get much better than that. Okay, and sliding into this parking spot. I always try to get one here. You know, I don't park close to the front door because the parking lot's not that big. Doesn't matter where I've never had a panhandler here, I don't think. But, so Monday I'm going to be leaving on a trip, it looks like. I don't know exactly where I'm headed yet, but I'm going to go camping in my Prius. And I will go what is called basic Prius camping, like I always do, with no tail veil, no tow behind, no nothing. And I'm actually gearing up for, it may not happen, but it's on my agenda. I'm gearing up for an extended trip starting probably in May of 2017, and then continuing. And in fact, this trip, I'm going to be gone, I don't know, a few days, I'm not sure yet. I've got a couple of wine tasting events in October. I think the first one's on the 13th or 14th, so I've got several days. And but then after that, I'm going to just take Prius camping trips on a fairly regular basis and use my home like I do now as home base. And, you know, and I'm going to cut some expenses. I may get rid of my broadband service, my Wi-Fi. That's $55 a month. If I'm going to be traveling, I sure don't need to be paying for that. And also something I found out on Cricket Wireless, I don't know if it's true on every wireless carrier, but on Cricket Wireless, one of the reasons the only reason I had their unlimited plan for a month was number one, to test it, and it was like $65 for unlimited data and everything else. And that was upload and download. But what I found out was I went back to the 2.5 gigabyte plan for $35 a month, including all taxes and fees. And what I found out was, yes, they do throttle it after 2.5 gigabytes. They do. But the throttle speed still allows you ample access to the internet. You can't stream videos. That's what they cut. That's all they cut out for me, basically. And I don't stream video over my smartphone anyway. But you still can stream Pandora, and the upload speed is not throttled. So I can still upload speeds, and there's no additional charge after your 2.5 gigabytes since it is throttled. And so you've basically got, for me, I've got unlimited data up and down for $35 a month, and you can't beat that deal. So anyway, guys, having said that, thumbs up, carpe diem, enjoy your day, and don't buy, back up, Rusty, cut. Buy American-made products when you can. Let's start this silent revolution and take our country back. We can do it. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you win a revolution? One step at a time. If you get one person to stop buying foreign made products, particularly Chinese, then you get two, three, four, five, use the exponential growth formula. And the next thing you know, you got 100 million. And guess what happens then? Woo! You talk about a change. My God, can you imagine? Anyway, again, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios. Bye bye. Y'all have a good day.